Hey y'all. So, in an effort to bring some more different content to my YouTube channel, I decided I'm gonna go ahead and try my hand at reviewing a new show, House of the Dragon. So, I've watched the first two episodes and basically what has happened. And these two episodes are we're introduced to some Targaryens from 2 years before. We had Danny, uh, the Baratheons, Khal Drago, the Starks, and all of those people. This is 200 years before them. So the show starts with we see some men on a deserted looking island, and it's dark, and we see a little bit of fire, but we see crabs everywhere, and that's the neighbor's dogs. We see crabs everywhere and stuff. We also see some we see an old king. He's a Targaryen. He had two sons. He's about to die, and he has to name an heir to the throne. I forgot what his name was, but he's definitely a Targaryen. Definitely has the white hair. He had two sons who tragically died, so he doesn't have a male heir. And in these times, they are very much against a woman being the person to sit on the throne. Okay, very patriotic. Not patriotic. Very male-driven times. Okay, so he has a daughter. Her name is her name's Rhaenys, if I'm not mistaken, and he doesn't pass the throne to her. Rhaenys is married to a black man with white hair. His name is Corlys. His family, I forgot what he said they do, but they did what they could do, and they became wealthy. So they got money. Okay, their family has money. Um, but he doesn't name her his heir. He names his I think I think Viserys is his great nephew or something to that effect. He names him as the heir because he's the only one left, male, that he could choose. Well, he's not the only one because Viserys has a brother named Daemon, but he doesn't name Daemon. He names Viserys. So Viserys becomes the king, and I know Rhaenys feels a way about it because she should have been next in line, but because she's a woman, they didn't name her because that would have meant that her husband would have been king, and he's black. Okay. They have. I think those kids are twins. They so cute though. They have a daughter, and they have it's a boy and a girl twins. They have the pretty blonde hair, curly hair or whatever. Uh, Corliss has a daughter. Her name is Rhaenyra or Rhaenyra. I forgot Rhaenyra's mother's name, but we see the scene. Rhaenyra's mother's pregnant. Corlys is named heir. I mean, not Corlys. Viserys is named heir to the throne. We have he has a council. On his council, Corlys is on the council for um, Viserys. I can't name all the council members' names, but the one person who sticks out to me is his last name's Hightower. And I remember that because of the Steve Harvey show. And his name was Steve Hightower on there. But anyway, the Hightower guy, he really, he really want power. And he want his bloodline to be in power some kind of way. His wife has died previously. He has a daughter named Allison. She's about 14. And she's best friends with um, Rhaenyra, which is the currently the only child of Viserys and his wife. Viserys' wife is currently pregnant, and he tells her they have a conversation. He tells her that he knows that it's a boy. He's been having dreams about it, and all he sees in the dream is him and this little boy. It doesn't go much further than that. And she said, okay. And she's in the tub, but she tells him this is the last pregnancy for her. She's not doing this again. She says she's had, I want to say she said she had 2 miscarriages and 3 stillbirths in the last 10 years. And the only successful birth she's had was the daughter, Rhaenyra. And he keep trying because he wants to have a king. He wants to have a son so he can have an heir to the throne. So his family can always be, reigning in power. And he looks at her, and then she also has a conversation with the daughter, Rhaenyra. She tells Rhaenyra, Rhaenyra wants to be a part of the King's Guard. She wants to fight. I think they said they had 10 dragons, or is it 20 dragons? I forget. But and each baby gets a dragon egg in their carriage or bassinet, whatever they called it back then. And she told Rhaenyra tells her mother that she wants to be part of the King's Guard. She can fight. We see her sword fighting and things, riding her dragon and stuff. She's very, very smart for a 10-year-old girl. The mother says the way we fight is by bringing forth life and more soldiers and more people to be on the throne. That's how we fight. Our battlefield is in the home and in the delivery room having these babies. And of course, Rhaenyra, she knows that her mom has had those stillbirths and miscarriages and stuff. I know she knows, especially with the stillbirths. So she's like, Mom, we can. She basically feels like it's more that they can do as women besides doing that. So they go on, and we see the King's Watch. I mean, the Night's Watch. Remember those people from the Game of Thrones? They the members of the Night's Watch. They protect the realm, and they protect the people in the towns. Well, we see this blonde-haired guy, and they just going through the town ransacking, saying, you did this, you did that. They chopping the men's penises off. They chopping hands off. Just real gruesome and gory. And I'm like, how do you know these people did this? But that's what they saying. And then he take his mask off and his crown, not the crown, but like a hat type thing or a helmet, whatever. And he has blonde hair. And this is when we learn he's Daemon Targaryen. This is Viserys' brother. He, in a conversation with the council, Viserys is talking about who could be next in line to be an heir, because we also see a scene with Viserys and his closest person and a doctor. He got a hole in his back, and it's not going away. I'm guessing it's cancer. And the man was saying, like, we learned this at the Citadel, and the Citadel was where they would go. The Citadel is like the library that tells everything. You learn everything, medical, scientific, everything. Or whatever. Everything there is to know about the times. It's in the Citadel. So they think of they talk about some procedure they can do or whatever, but it's nothing. Like, they've tried so many different things, and nothing is helping. It's like growing. The whole cancer is growing. It's spreading. So that's why they're having this talk about who can be next in line to be heir to the throne. So Corlys, he suggests Daemon. Hightower said no, not Daemon, because Daemon is bloodthirsty. And we have seen that with the way he went through the town with the Night's Watch killing people. So apparently, Daemon has been, I forgot what they call the person that's in charge of the money, but he's been in charge of the money. He effed that up. They said he was stealing money. He's been on some other board. He was on something else. I think he was on King's Guard too, and now that's when they put him in Viserys put him in the Night's Watch. This is not what Daemon wants to do. Daemon wants to be hand of the king. He wanted to be there to protect his brother. Now, though he is bloodthirsty, because I seen it with my own eyes, Hightower has a point about him being bloodthirsty, but Hightower also has ulterior motives. He wants somebody in his family to be hand of the king and next in line to be heir. So, we see a scene where they're having a tournament, you know, the jousting and all that kind of stuff. They out there watching it. Um, Someone comes and whispers in the king's ear that the wife is in labor with the baby. So he goes and leaves. So we see the King's Guard tournament. Damon is participating. There's this guy. What the hell was his name? Let me Google the character's name real quick. Wow, why is it not saying it? And why is my thing so dark? I got it on the lightest one. Alright, there it go. Alright. Is his name Christian? I'm wasting all this time looking. I was right. After all of that, uh, the guy that was doing a whole lot of knocking people's heads off and winning these tournaments, his name was Sir Kristen Cole. And we see when he takes a bow at the few triumphs, he takes a bow, takes his head off, takes his helmet off, and he asks Rhaenyra uh, for her I forgot what the word was. Basically, he wanted her to congratulate him or whatever. So, with the doing that, they give like a little wreath of flowers. Okay, so I'm back. Had a little interruption from my little friend in the house. By little friend, I mean my sister's uh, best friend's daughter. She stayed over this weekend. She's the cutest little 4-year old, and very, very smart. But as I was saying, so Kristen Cole asked Rhaenyra for her congratulations. They give out like a little wreath of flowers, and she gives it to him. So you can see he takes a liking to her. He's actually been in combat and been on the battlefield and all that kind of stuff. Um, I think he, I think he fought over in Dorne. Remember the sand snakes or the sisters that died? Yeah. I think he comes from the land or was over there in the land where they are from. But anyway, also when we saw Damon fighting, Damon asked Allison Hightower for her congratulations, and she gave him roses. So it's looking like Damon like had an eye for Allison Hightower. And as a matter of fact, Allison Hightower is the daughter of the Hightower that sits on the council with the king, and his name's Ito Hightower. But anyway, um, when we saw Damon out there in the streets with the Night's Watch, we get a scene where Damon is in the bed having sex with what I presume to be a whore. She comes from the brothel or whatever. She services Damon, and they've taken a liking to each other, and he's promised her to, have some stature and all that kind of stuff, and she wants to leave that area, but for whatever reason, why they're intimate with each other, Damon can't get his mind off of whatever he got his mind on. He has a wife that lives in another place. Viserys told him to go check on the wife and see the wife. He don't want to because that was a forced marriage and he don't want to be married to her. He likes I think he really does like Allison. Now remember, Allison is 14. She's the same age as, if I'm not mistaken, she's the same age as his niece, Rhaenyra. And Rhaenyra and Damon have a really good relationship. They're close. He listens to her. She listens to him. Um, we see the tournament play out, is playing out or whatever, and we go back to the birthing room wherever the queen is, and the doctor tells Viserys that, listen, the baby is breech. We've tried and tried to turn the baby. The baby won't budge. Now, at this point, the only thing you can do, and it's up to you, the only thing left is either you let them both, you risk both of them dying, or you choose to save the baby. To save the baby, we have to cut open her womb and get the baby out. And she's going to lose so much blood that she's going to die. But we can try to save the baby. And you need to make this decision now. They pan the camera to her in the bed, and you see a little a circle of blood on her nightgown or her dress. And she's hollering and hollering. And when he goes to be by her side and hold her hand, the doctor tells him we learned this technique at the Citadel about cutting open the womb and getting the baby out ourselves, basically a C-section. This scene was so freaking hard to watch. Viserys goes to his wife's side, hold her hand. She hugs him, his neck. She's telling him, help me, save me, please help me, help me, help me. I'm so much, she's in so much fucking pain. And remember, I think this is supposed to be 200 BC, but for Christ. She in so much pain, y'all. She's screaming for his help. He holds her hand. He kiss her on the forehead, tell her she's gonna be alright. And we see all the maidens surround her, and they all grabbing a limb and holding her spread eagle. And that fucking doctor gets a knife. It's not even, because of course the scalpel was not invented at this point. It's a fucking knife, y'all, and he just sliced down her. I watched this 2 weeks ago when it first premiered, and I still get affected by just describing this. The scream that lady gave out. Give that lady that actress, give her an award, because she sounded like she really was going through it. Okay? She sold it. They cut her open. They get the baby out. By the time they've cut her open and getting the baby out, her head is up to the side. She's taking her last breaths. She's dying. It took a second. Then we hear the baby cry. We hear one cry. And the doctor tells Viserys that it's a little boy. What do you want to name him? He names him Balon, or Balin, if I'm not mistaken. Then we pan to a scene. They all standing out in the field by a cliff. We see the dragon sitting at the top of a hill. We see Daemon, everybody dressed in fucking black. We see the wife mummified. She got the stuff wrapped all on her. She's sitting on the bed of thicket and, branches, tree or whatever. How they set it up back then. And they fucking pan down. We see another thing, a smaller thing wrapped up in the same stuff. I said, what the fuck? The baby ain't even fucking make it. The baby fucking died. So this man then lost his fucking wife and his son, his only son, with her. I said, oh my God. Damon comes up behind Rhaenyra and whispers, "They're waiting on you." She calls out to the dragon. The dragon comes down, breathes the fire on the mother and the baby. Because that's what they believe in doing back then. Basically, what we call, um, wow, I can't even think of the word right now. But instead of getting buried, cremated, what we call cremated, that's what they did back then. They just set you on fire. Immediately after the fucking funeral is when they have this meeting with the council. And that's when they talked about who's going to be the heir since the baby boy died. And they also talk about um, him, Viserys needing to take a wife and moving on and trying to create an heir with somebody else or whatever. So that's when we find out all the different jobs um, that Damon has had, and it's called Lord of the Coins something. That's the financial part. So he's been there. He's been on the King's Guard, and now he's in the Night's Watch or whatever. And they talked about how he went through that town, you know, chopping up people and doing the shit that he was doing because he bloodthirsty. And they say that's when Corlys, like I said, Corlys says that the king should name Daemon as heir to the throne, and Otto Hightower is against it. Otto, I forgot who Otto was suggesting, but he definitely don't want it to be um, Daemon. The king said, "Well, I can name my daughter," and Otto is against that too, because Otto don't want. He's of the old school thinking. He doesn't want a woman sitting on the throne. Also, Otto wants a way to get himself in there and get his lineage, like I said, a part of that. So he, once the wife dies, he telling his daughter Allison to go to the king's chambers, takes books because she's very smart. Because her and Rhaenyra read books together and stuff like that. And he tells her to go and get this dress that her mother used to have. I said, "Oh my God, you pimping out your little daughter to this old ass man, to her best friend's father." She don't really want to do it, and we see she got anxiety, nerves, or something because she bites the skin around her nails till it's bloody red. We see that. So she goes to the king's chambers, and he in there playing with this little board. It looked like a chessboard. It's chalk white, and it's got everything. It's like the whole kingdom is on this board or whatever. And she talks to him, and she talk about her mother dying and all that stuff like that. Like I said, while they was having that talk, when he was talking to the council, Damon was standing out there listening, and Damon could hear him say, "My brother." Basically, Viserys was sticking up for Damon. Then Damon left because Otto tried to put it like, you don't think if you put Damon in charge that Damon would try to append you, like, um, kill you so he can be king? And he was like, "No, that's my brother." And Damon laughed. I said, "Would you, Damon?" Then that was the first episode. So that episode goes off. The second episode, we see Corliss talking about they need to send the naval ships to go and help the men that got captured by the Crab King. His name Karabi or Karabi something. He lives on this little island. He like a pirate would do. He attacked the ships, took all the goods, got the men nailed to all these different stakes, and the crabs up on them, eating them up and stuff like that. They feel like the council. I'm not sure if it was Ito, but I know Corliss for sure was like, "We can send my people, and we can go over there as a united front. We can do whatever we need to do." But Sarah's not thinking on it. He's still grieving. We see in this second episode, it's more so about him naming the heir, and he goes on to name um Rhaenyra as the heir. And I wonder if Damon feels some sort of way about that. Because at some point in this episode, we see Damon come to the king and was like, why you the king has decided to send Damon away. He took him off the night's watch, told Damon to go get his wife, and they banished him to somewhere. And told him go back there or whatever and do what he's supposed to do there. And Damon was like, no, like, why do you want me to do that? Do you not think Otto Hightower has plans to try to get over on you? Like, I want to be here to protect you, basically. And the king is like, no, you won't be the king's guard. So Damon has to leave. He's pissed off about that. He took the girl that he had with him and the whore. He took her and they left and going to wherever he's supposed to be going. Then we see that Damon comes in and steals the dragon egg that they had for Balin, whatever that child's name was. And they get some people together because they know it was Damon that did it. They get some people together. They sent Otto and some of the men from the council to confront Damon about stealing the egg. They meet out like on this bridge. Damon people pull out their swords, and Otto and them are kind of ill prepared to deal with Damon. And then we see somebody flying in, and it's Rhaenyra. She gets off the dragon. The dragon blows fire at Damon's people. For them to step back, they step back. She gets off, and she goes up to her uncle, and she said, why would you steal the dragon's egg? And he said, because I need it for my child, for my son, my soon-to-be heir. She says, is the whore pregnant? Basically. And he like, not yet. And she gives him a look. And he says, like, why did a baby who only lived a day need this egg? And I said, damn, that's fucked up to say. Because he said the child was king prince for a day. I said, that's so fucked up to say. But he went on and gave the egg to Rhaenyra. And they all went back to their respective places. So we see that Rhaenyra is the only one that can get close to Daemon. Then in this episode, we see King Viserys walking with Corlys's daughter. The little girl is only fucking 12. And he's talking to her because they didn't put the little girl up to get married to him. Now, first of all, this little girl is his fucking cousin, number one. But they did that shit back then. Shit, they still do it now because Queen Elizabeth, wasn't she? Charles was her cousin. Wasn't they first cousins or something like that? To that effect. Ew. Disgusting. I'm talking about Queen of England. Wasn't their husband, God rest his soul, but why didn't you? I could have sworn I heard somebody say they was cousins. So they still do that nasty shit. But anyway, and I mean first cousins. I can see if you like six cousin removed or some shit like that. But first cousin, second cousin, third cousin, that's an absolute disgusting thing. But anyway, they wanted her to talk to him because they pushing her to try to get in the spot and him marry her. Then we see while he walking and talking with that little girl, we see Rhaenys and Rhaenyra having a conversation. And Rhaenys say some stuff to Rhaenyra to get under her skin. And basically, it would basically say, would it bother you if your father married my daughter? And she said, well, he has to take on a new wife. My mother is now gone, so to keep the throne growing and everything, that's what he has to do or whatever. And they have like this conversation, but I can't remember everything. But that part did stick out to me. So the episode ends with basically the king announces that he is going to marry Allison, which is Rhaenyra's best friend. And you can see the look on Rhaenyra's face. She does not agree. She don't like it. It bothers her. Because she told her that he talked to her about getting married so soon after her mother's passing and her brother's passing. And she said, but you got to do what you got to do for the kingdom, for the throne. And I think she was saying that when she thought that it was going to be somebody else. When she learned it was going to be Allison, she didn't like that. Because to go from your best friend to your stepmother, that's a pretty awkward situation to be in. So we find out he's going to marry Allison. They have the ceremony where he announces um, that Rhaenyra is heir to the throne. And she gets suited up and gets all the stuff that she's supposed to get as heir to the throne. We saw Rhaenyra decide that she wants Sir Criston Cole to go and fight and figure out this whole issue with the Crab King. Because she wants somebody that's actually been in combat. Because the Lord of the King's Guard, or the man, basically he's the leader or the captain or whatever of the King's Guard. He's never been in real battle before. So she wants somebody that's experienced in battle. So she picked Sir Criston Cole. Criston Cole to go and everything. So that's basically what happened in episodes 1 and 2 of House of the Dragon. I just started watching episode number 3, and I'll bring that to y'all when I get a chance after I finish watching it. But so far it's good. This is a different kind of show for me to review. I did watch Game of Thrones. I didn't start watching Game of Thrones until after season 5 had went off the air. I mean, I have family members that read the books, and then family members that read the books and watched the show, and they used to talk about it, but I just was like, I ain't interested or whatever, right? Until this coworker of mine was watching it at work, and she was telling me like, it's so good. People sacrifice the kids for stuff and everything, and I was like, all right, I'll check it out. And then that's when I watched. It took me about 2.5, 3 months to watch all 5 seasons at work, because I was only watching it at work. I wasn't watching it at home. And I really enjoyed it, and that's when I really got into the show and started liking it. So I'm going to add that to something I'm going to review since P Valley is gone, and I don't have any shows that I'm like reviewing right now. So I hope y'all enjoyed this. Don't forget to click the like and subscribe button on your way in or on your way out. And I'll see y'all in the next one. And I really appreciate all of you who click my video, who watch it. But I would really, really appreciate some likes and more views on this channel. I'm trying to keep my channel growing, y'all. Right at this point, I've had this channel or been uploading videos for the last, I want to say 2 years. And I'm up to a little over 300 subscribers. I need to get it to grow some more, y'all. Help a sister out. I see y'all in the next one.